Hi, welcome to Sheffield Methodist District's prayers for praying for such a time as this, our new strategy for resourcing your mission. This is the fourth in our series of prayer sessions. We've already prayed for growing disciples. We've prayed for worship that is passionate and contextual, that we might be able to kind of curate in our churches and for people beyond our buildings. And we've prayed about sharing of stories as well, about how we're able to speak of confidence about the faith that we have, but also how we're able to do church in public, and be able to kind of connect into our connect into the communities in which we find ourselves. And so we're going to be praying on this session, this fourth week, for the fourth strand of our strategy, which is transforming mission. Before I share some words from our strategy, which will help guide our prayers, wanted to just read a few words from the book of Acts and chapter 9, and picking up a story that where we've got to in this story, kind of Saul, the persecutor of Christians, has just been blinded after an encounter with Christ, and God speaks to one of those people that Saul was going to have arrested for the newfound faith that they held. So we kind of pick up the story. Lord, Ananias answered, I've heard many reports about this man and all the harm he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. And he has come here with authority from the chief priests to arrest all who call on your name. But the Lord said to Ananias, Go, this man is my chosen instrument to carry my name before the Gentiles and their kings and before the people of Israel. I will show them how much he must suffer for my name. Then Ananias went to the house and entered it. And so the story goes on. It's a story where no one is in their comfort zone. Neither kind of Saul, the kind of crusader against the new Christians, or kind of Ananias, who being sent to tend to the person who has been out to get him. It's a story which has an immediacy and a sense of for such a time as this about it, that actually kind of Saul was very much interrupted and kind of cut in half in the way that he was going and forced into an abrupt change of direction. And Ananias was again kind of called to respond, given what the skills and the gifts and the faith that he had, to do something that actually he had to be doing now. And it's a story that also recognizes that actually we have kind of dead ends and differences of opinion, and actually as the story goes on after this, that actually kind of Saul, who becomes Paul, starts to learn about this Christ that he's encountered, and we hear kind of many different versions of accounts of how he and the kind of the church that he's joined start to continue this process of making things up as they go along, of going off down dead ends, of having disagreements and differences about the best way forward, but ultimately of following the vision that's been set before them. So I hope and feel that that's a vision for kind of a time, for such a time as this, and kind of plays into what we're called to do when we talk about transforming mission. And so the things that we're going to pray for this evening, as we kind of reflect on our kind of next stages, our mission statements. Our world is ever changing and our need for God is eternal. So we pray in this time of prayer for encouragement in new innovative mission, that we would continue to be alert to God doing new things kind of in the world around us, and that we would need to respond to those. We pray that we will be able to join in with moves of the Spirit, and that we would encourage and equip those amongst us who are innovators and who are breaking new ground. We pray for recognition that fruitfulness comes from pruning and from watering it. We use kind of in one of our previous prayers the image of the vine, and this builds on that. And so we will pray that we'll be comfortable to ask those searching questions and those difficult questions about what it is that God's calling us to do, and that may be the same as what we've been doing, or it may be something very different, and those changes in direction may be painful. Kind of as we discern and follow where God is calling us to journey next, we pray that we will be able to set plans for mission, not documents on pieces of paper necessarily, but a clarity of thought and of purpose, that we're able to articulate what it is that we feel God is calling us to do now. And as people who believe that resurrection hope flows from endings, as resurrection follows crucifixion, that actually we pray that we will be willing to embrace change, to let go of things and to try new things. And so we kind of pray for, I guess, kind of a number of people kind of this time, kind of across the life of our district. And I want to start by praying for people who are afraid of change. And Lord, we recognize that actually some of us love change, some of us love trying new things, some of us like starting off on new journeys and adventures and thrive in places of uncertainty. But we recognize that for many people across our churches, that actually change is unsettling and it's difficult, and actually we look to our faith and we look to our encounter with church to be places of stability in a complex and a confusing world, particularly kind of in a time as disrupted as this. And so we pray for those who find change really difficult within our churches. We pray that actually that fear of uncertainty and fear of change won't be a barrier to engaging, and won't be a barrier to giving new things a try where you're calling us to do so, that people may be able to let go of natural fears, but also to use what they have in the kind of the fondness for the stability, to be able to actually use that as a strength where that's appropriate, and to help us to cling steadfastly to the things that matter most, to what's essential, to what you're calling us to do and who you're calling us to be. We pray for those who are the kind of pioneers and the trailblazers in our churches, those who are at the front banging the drum, who are taking on a prophetic role. And we recognize as we pray that that's so often a difficult and a lonely and a tiring place to be. We need those people, God. We need those people to be able to lead us into transforming mission, to be able to do things which are right for the world as we find it today, and to prepare for the world of tomorrow, whatever that may look like. So we pray that you would give us, that you would offer to those who are in such a situation, that actually the comfort and the assurance and the ways of knowing and being grounded that what they're doing is rooted in you, and the ways to stay connected to your guidance, and also the people around them, that they would kind of know and feel the support of their church and of their circuit and of us, our district. And we pray also for those who feel called to minister from a point of brokenness, those for whom life is really difficult, for whom aspects of their faith are a real struggle at the moment. The people like Paul, for whom the world has collapsed around them, but also the people like Ananias feeling called into something which is really uncomfortable for them. We thank you that you don't call us to do things in our own strength. You don't rely on us being great or perfect or having boundless energy and resources, but that actually we minister at our best when we recognize our frailty, and when we turn to you and are reliant on you. So give hope and give confidence and give wisdom to those who feel that call to minister and feel that call to engage in mission which will be transforming for the communities and the world and the people around them, but recognize that they do so from a place where actually life is difficult for them as well. And we pray for the communities in which we minister and we serve. We don't serve and we don't undertake mission to make ourselves feel good, and we don't empire build for the church. But actually, we pray that our mission and everything that we do will be joining in with the moves of the Spirit, and actually that in doing so we will be reacting in love to the people that you love before us, and you go ahead of us, and you show us your people, and you show us those who you have compassion for, and you invite us to participate in that with you. And so you kind of hold these thoughts and hold the opportunities that you may see to engage in transforming mission in your place, in your context, with your church, or with a small group of people who share that vision. Be that a ministry or mission that you've started long ago and continues to evolve and continues to transform, or something new that you are being called into, a change, something new, something that will respond, something that meets a need that is a new need, or something that no one else is responding to. And so we hold those, whatever those may be, kind of before God now. And I invite you to continue praying as the playlist kind of turns on to the next item, which will be a song recorded by Matt Beckingham from Sprotbrook in our Doncaster circuit. Have you heard God's voice? And so do stay on and listen to that. Listen for that calling of God's voice. What is God calling you into, and what might you be able to encourage others to call into as we participate with God in acts of transforming mission for such a time as this. Amen.